Good morning, dear viewers and listeners on Quest Television and Radio. It's an amazing day, the number 18th day in the month of January 2023. My name is Sarah Omowigo, and yes, I will be taking you this morning on the newspaper review, where we get to look at the trending stories in the world of news, sport, and entertainment. Well, I'm not alone. I've got my analyst in the building with me, Comrade Odomo. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
The unordained bishop. God is to say something. Maybe this year you will be ordained. Maybe,
yes,
just
I
maybe.
wonder when you become a drinkable wine.
We have so many things to ponder on. All right, moving away from that, the first paper of a review this morning is that of the Daily Trust. And let's quickly dive into the dailies. What the big story on the Daily Trust says: kidnapping will make Abuja too hot for criminals. This is coming from Wiki. It's a good one. Will make Abuja too hot for criminals. Kick underneath that story says enough is enough. Slams informant, you won't sleep well again. Well, fire for fire this year. All right. So other headlines from the Vanguard says Buhari defends Emefiele on Naira redesign. Finally, I would say. You can read more of the story on page 9, the first one, and the second, page 8. But what you will get on page 19 of the Vanguard says FX backlog. CBN uncovers abuses, vows sanction. Some good one there. Well, from the world of sports, says AFCON 2023, Super Eagles in search of redemption. I think we need it. But let's see, I think that is the much that we can take from the Vanguard this morning. Okay, one more. Edo 2024, Ighodalo declares shuts down Benin. Well, more of that story on page 12 of the Vanguard paper. Well, because of time, we'll be jumping straight to the Nation's paper. And the headline on the Nation says, Ibadan explosion, 3 dead, 77 injured, 58 houses damaged. Well, this is a sad one there. I'll kick on underneath the major story says how explosive bombed by residents. FEC OK's review of laws on explosives. Akintola, Oladuko, Olajide loses buildings. Police tighten security in Lagos. Well, all of these you could read on the front page of the Nation's newspaper. Rivers Assembly class nominees, government set to crash prices of medicine. You can find the story respectively on page 27 and page 6 of the Nation's newspaper. CBN to crack down on forex violators. APED Bank goes tough. On page 7 of the Nation's paper, you will find more on that story. While on page 4 says NERC, OK's hike in electricity tariff. Sector to get 1.6 trillion naira subsidy. Jamor Ibrahim rallies support in Davos for Tinubu's policies. Check page 5 for more details. And on page 27 says Edo poll, Ighodalo joins raise as LP pegs form at 30 million naira. Crowdfunding. Oh my God. Crowdfunding for ransom payment would worsen kidnapping, says federal government. I've seen a lot of story on this particular one. Kick on the need that says IG raises squad. FCT will be hot for criminals, says Wike. And from Bola G, Ogundaye and Benga in Abuja. Well, it says Obi of Onisha tackles Soludo for suspending monarchs. You can read more on that on page 8 over the chieftaincy confirmation title and all of that, the controversy around it. Well, that is the much that we can take from the Nation this morning. The next paper of a review will be that of the Punch newspaper. And the big story still is the Ibadan explosion. Residents blame Malian illegal miners as FG probes blast. A kicker underneath the story says there were cops all over street, says resident. But the death toll is said to be 3.
That's just a negligence of one man.
Wow. Foreign names behind explosion, claims Makinde. Fish out those responsible, Tinubu tells police. IG dispatches anti-bomb unit, 58 houses destroyed. But all of these you can get on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Or still on the porch above the big story says abduction. Federal government fought Nigerians overcrowding to pay ransom. Federal government fought Nigeria's crowdfunding to pay ransoms. Well, you can read more on that on page 2. What you will get on page 21 says government suspends electricity tariff hike. Power subsidy hits 1.6 trillion naira. And on page 21, CBN to tackle forex infractions with heavy sanctions. Let's come down below the big story there. Says student loan begins January as federal government opens website soon. You can read more on this on page 29. And on page 5, Ondo Amotokun arrests 19 kidnappers, 17 others. Federal government seeks 1.5 billion naira loans to shore up naira and boost budget. Well, you can read more on this on page 26 of the Punch paper. Well, the picture of the day shows destroyed houses and cars in Ibadan, if I'm not mistaken, due to the explosion that rocked on Tuesday night. Well, because of time, the next paper up for review is that of The Guardian. And still the Ibadan story takes face. Outrage as Ibadan explosion exposes illegal mining, weak regulations. Well, you can read more of this on page 6 of The Guardian. Other stories says that the 6 oil firms record $425 billion windfall in 24 months, says report. You can read more of that on page 3. Agbakoba tax Tinubu on new constitution. You could check page 3 for more information of that story. Families of abducted persons appeal to Tinubu, Makinde over 100 million naira ransom. Well, you could check page 8 of The Guardian to get more story on that one. Crowdfunding payment of ransom would worsen kidnapping. Federal government warns Nigeria. Page 5 is where you will get more information there. Without security, we have no business in government, says Wike. You could check page 26 to see what Wike is talking about. Now falls to 1,320 naira per dollar amid uncertainty over MPC status. You could check the business page 15 of The Guardian paper. And lastly, from The Guardian, because of time, Nigeria may borrow more to sustain discourse as NERC adjusts tariff. Well, you could check page 6 to know what that is all about. Right about now, I'll be coming over to my analyst in the building with me, to, of course, to throw some questions concerning the headlines of the dailies this morning. I think the major one is that of the Ibadan explosion. I think one of the story that has caught my attention right now is about the reports about the figures of casualties. Even this early morning news read that it was just 3 dead and maybe over 80 or 77 people injured. But yeah, residents are saying that there are cops all over the street.
Yeah, number one, my heart goes for those people that lost their families. And
Exactly.
like I remove my cap to honor the fallen Nigerians. You know, that's a negligence taken too far. That type of bombing, or let me not use the word bombing, because it was not a bomb, it was an explosion.
Yeah.
Couldn't have killed only 3 persons. Taking into consideration the devastating effect on the whole area. 85 buildings or so.
Destroyed, damaged.
Yeah, damaged. Only 3 people cannot go. But I know quite well, government does not work like that. But I read a writer yesterday. I don't know whether it was just a write-up by somebody to inflate
So to cost stir maybe.
Yes, because he said a Malian was storing explosive in his house because they want to use it for illegal mining, and it went out of their hands and exploded. But irrespective of whatever maybe they cause, it's a very, very great disaster for the country. And with the souls of those that lost their lives, rest in peace, and God should grant the survivors and the families of those that lost their lives the gratitude
to bear the loss, exactly.
Yes, to bear the loss. And in fact, we pray such things don't happen again. We have too many to grapple with now, coupled with this one again. It's becoming too much to bear for the country. In fact, I'm very sad over it, but there's nothing we can do. We cannot reverse the hands of the clock. Like that, we're happy about what is happening.
Well, yes, still on the dailies. I think one other story there is about the federal government faulting Nigerians over their urge to crowdfund money to pay ransom for kidnapped victims.
Look, I'd never pay any one of you for the first victim.
Exactly.
But I fell victim of this thing one time. I spent 6 days in the forest with the Fulani boys along Okene Ukpila bypass. What you go through, you die every second and you wake up every second. Nobody can say you should not pay ransom, unless, of course, the government is up and doing with their responsibility.
The government claims that with people, if Nigeria continue this way, if the people would not pay the victim, definitely the new Nigerians will crowdfund to pay. So it might increase the rate at which people are
You
being
cannot
kidnapped.
allow your person to be in that place for one day. If you have the means, fine wine. The horror they go through, you can't even pray for your worst enemy to go through that horror. Look, for that 6 days, the last day that we were released, I begged to be shot. The three of them, the same time I got to a point, I told them, look, I've not committed any offense. I've not done anything. I've done all I could to raise money. I could not raise money. You people are treating me this way. I don't want to live again. Go ahead and shoot. It's only one bullet. It was so horrible. Then the government is saying don't pay ransom to release people. And they are not prepared to do anything to shore up the security. Look at the way the whole thing is. It's a sword of double edge. It doesn't favor this way. It doesn't favor this way. Actually, if not for the torture, if they don't pay ransom, the business becomes useless and nobody want to go into it. Yeah. But can you allow your person to be in that place?
To the fact that they're not kidnapping children, not just
not even only children again these days. They're even going from house to house to go and identify people. You see, it has spiraled out of hand. When this thing started newly, if they had put their feet on ground, that's government, including parastatals, military parastatals, it wouldn't have gotten to this level. Now, like this something that was going from whether about you to Kaduna or somewhere that was carrying religious books to be written on the road, calling on God to intervene in the journey for him to have a safe
journey.
Yes, so he said the destination. It has gotten to that extent. Actually, paying of ransom will boost the morale of the kidnappers. But what can you do? You say do not pour oil on the dress of a reverend father because the reverend father is always on white.
On white.
And you also tell the reverend father not to walk past where they sell oil. If they say we should not pay ransom, they should also do something to
about the insecurity.
Exactly.
Well, yes, about now we'll be opening up the phone lines. Let's say if we'll take maybe 1 or 2 calls before we end the program, where the numbers are already on your screen. But for those of you who are listening to us by radio, the numbers are 081 88 931 or 080 931 931. All you have to do when you call in is turn down the volume of your radio set or walk as far away from it. State your name and your location and then go ahead with your take. But before we start taking the calls, let's talk about the student loan. The last I remember, I think we have a caller on the line. Hello? Okay, that was my mistake. One of the papers said that the student, that has a Punch in his paper, said the student loan begins January as federal government opens website soon.
Yeah, let's hear.
I believe it's this year, 2024. Today is just the 18th day, it could come maybe 31st or 30th, nothing is impossible. But the last time I remember, the criteria for you to be a partaker of that loan was something that was worrisome to every Nigerian youth. So was that fixed? Because there was promises that it would be fixed as at the time it will come into fruition. But now it's about to start and I don't remember it being fixed.
I can't also remember too whether it has been fixed. Maybe it was done silently too. Maybe when they go to the portals, they will see whether it has been fixed or not. But I think that if actually they want to do that, there are modalities that they will follow. Every Nigerian has data. Look, fine wine, as you are seated here, you will think that the government does not know you are here. But when they commit one government crime,
they will find my location.
The file, even of the day you were born. You will be so surprised.
I think we have a caller on the line. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, ma.
Good morning. All right, please go ahead.
We will make Abuja, Nigeria, too hot for criminals to kidnappers.
Minister of FCT, Wike.
Yes, and earlier the better, because Abuja cannot be in the state it is now, being vulnerable to kidnappers and all that, so you have to do something. And again, federal government for grant funding for ransom payments. Yes, like our resources here said there. If your person is there, I think there's something that is missing all in this place. We have this N&N. If there's no policemen who is so-called people can, when they are paying this payment, they have to work with people and say these people could be caught. And nothing other people will be paying millions. And those people will not be caught. There's something wrong somewhere. So they should have a synergy of how they can, the process of payment, where these people could be apprehended. Then again, illegal manners is responsible for the expulsion in Ibadan, Makinde. Yeah, the truth is that what I would like to know, I would say that there's illegal money in housing units, so people are saying, I think they are going to be money area. I would say that when people say the mine is there, or they push a chemical there and the chemical explodes. We don't know. So they should.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Henry. According to the morning news, says investigation is ongoing for them to check that it was about to be used. You know, that they want to check the explosive law in Nigeria, if any of them were violated.
Why have they allowed that mining to take place for a very long time?
For a long time, exactly.
While in other areas, they will go there and burn down their illegal refineries, arrest people, prosecute them.
Aside, you know, there'll be so focus on illegal refining of oil, you know, the bunkering, but we've had illegal mining on as well.
Illegal refineries scattered around the country, and then what is looking at that direction? So is it that the case of all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others? Like
some sins are greater than some. Let's see if we could take maybe one more calls. My PD is already signaling me short of time. Okay, well, that is the much that we can take this morning. But Do Not Friday comes to you every morning on Quest Television and Radio by 7:30 a.m. to 8. My name is Sarah Mobigo. I want to say a very big thank you to my analyst in the building, Comrade Otomo, the ordained bishop. I look forward to your ordination this year. But yes,
it has been so difficult to drink you as
I'm not giving you the room for that.
No.
Well, I only owe one person room. That is Michael Gubadia to come for the big story on Quest today. So I have to take my leave. But until next time, have a productive day and stay safe. Bye for now.